Hello, and welcome to this quiz to test your knowledge of the Acts of the Apostles. So, 20 questions. Let's begin. Question 1. Who wrote the book of Acts? Was it Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John? Acts was written by Luke. Question 2. Who was appointed to replace Judas Iscariot as a disciple? Was it Joseph, Matthias, Barnabas, or Barsabbas? And the answer is Matthias. Question 3. Which Pharisee said that if the gospel truly comes from God, no one will be able to stop it spreading? Was it Paul, Nicodemus, Theudas, or Gamaliel? And the answer is Gamaliel. Question 4. On what day did the apostles receive the Holy Spirit? Was it the day of Pentecost, the Day of Atonement, Purim, or Passover? And the answer is the day of Pentecost. Question 5. Who looked after the coats of the men who stoned Stephen? Peter, Saul, Gamaliel, or Joseph? It was Saul. Question 6. In which city did Silas and Timothy meet up with Paul? Was it Corinth, Antioch, Rome, or Athens? They met in Corinth. Question 7. What was the name of the first Gentile convert to Christianity? Was it Paul, Agabus, Cornelius, or Simon? And the honour goes to Cornelius. Question 8. Name the man who fell out of the window during one of Paul's speeches. Was it Philemon, Tychicus, Eutychus, or Onesimus? It was Eutychus. You could actually say he was bored to death by Paul. Question 9. Timothy's father was what nationality? Was he Jewish, Roman, Greek, or Egyptian? He was Greek. Question 10. Judas Iscariot's field was called Akeldama, but was also known as what? The field of blood, the field of bones, the field of iniquity, or the field of sin? And the answer, naturally, was the field of blood. Question 11. Where was Saul on the road to when he encountered a light from heaven? Was it Jerusalem, Damascus, Tarsus, or Antioch? He was on the road to Damascus. Question 12. By what name was the disciple Tabitha also known? Lydia, Priscilla, Claudia, or Dorcas? And the answer is Dorcas. Question 13. What was Paul's profession? Was he a tent maker, or a carpenter, a fisherman, or a soldier? Paul was a tent maker. Question 14. In Acts 16, why were the masters of the soothsayer unhappy with Paul and Silas? Was it because Paul cursed her with an evil spirit? Or was it that Paul took the girl with him on his travels? Or Paul commanded the spirit to leave her? Or Paul had the girl thrown in prison. They were unhappy because Paul commanded the spirit to leave her, and they could no longer earn any money from her. Question 15. Who prophesied that Paul would be bound at Jerusalem? Was it Claudius, Agabus, Aquila, or Philip? That was Agabus. Question 16. What came out of the fire Paul made on Melita? Was it a locust, a hedgehog, a viper, or a salamander? It was a viper. I think it would have been a very different story if it had been a hedgehog. Question 17. What was the name of the centurion who looked after Paul on the journey to Rome? Was he called Julius, or Augustus, or Tertius, or Quartus? And it was Julius that looked after Paul. Question 18. What misfortune did Paul encounter on the way to Rome? Was it a tornado, a whirlpool? Did he suffer illness or a shipwreck? Paul suffered a rather nasty shipwreck. Question 19. Which gods did the people of Lystra think Paul and Barnabas were? Did they think they were Jupiter and Mercury, Apollo and Mars, Saturn and Janus, or Pluto and Bacchus? They believed they were Jupiter and Mercury. And question 20. Which book of prophecy was the Ethiopian eunuch reading from? Was it Isaiah, or Jeremiah, Ezekiel, or Daniel? And the answer is Isaiah. So how did you do?